Hi, Sifu Mills here with the Chinese Boxing Institute International. As promised in our last wooden dummy video, today we're going to talk about how to hit with shock force. No matter what style you do, we all strive to project the maximum amount of power in every technique. We want to be able to produce the maximum effect with the minimum effort. Bruce Lee said, in order for a technique to be effective, it must be 1. Explosive, and 2. Deceptive. To build explosiveness, you must develop strength and flexibility through exercise and always remain relaxed and rooted. I'm also a very big advocate of utilizing supplemental fitness and strength training in your conditioning and your development, such as weightlifting, body weight exercises, etc. Another great exercise is simple push-ups. We like to do them on our knuckles to develop the strength in our wrists. You can just do regular push-ups like this. You can also explode at the top of the movement. And for you Wing Chun guys, you can do what we call Wing Chun push-ups, where you push up in that center line punch position, and this will help develop your strength of punching along your center line. Another really good piece of apparatus that we use is called the wrist roller. Hold it out like this. It's easy to make, just a weight on the end of a rope on a stick. You want to stay rooted and use your grip and your wrist strength. This will strengthen your forearms. This will make your punches stronger, your wrists stronger, which will aid in your striking power. But this is a really great piece of apparatus to use in your training. To build deceptiveness, you must increase and utilize body movement, broken rhythm, and independent movement. You must develop good initiation speed and be non-telegraphic. One of the exercises we do to develop initiation speed and non-telegraphic energy is called the ear whip. What you'll do is you'll square off in front of your partner, both of you in a long-range fighting position. One side will do a whip to touch the ear of the partner. The partner will try to box out or block the ear whip. You'll do it with independent motion. Try to be non-telegraphic. You don't want to go in a rhythm, 1-1000, 2-1000 like that, or they'll just block in pattern. So you'll pause in between each one. You'll initiate as fast as you can. You'll make sure that your hand moves without any telegraphing of your body. And the ear whip is a really good exercise to practice, not only being non-telegraphic and deceptive. You develop good initiation speed. Your partner learns to read and try to pick up on your motion to be better at blocking it. But the ear whip is a great exercise. Another exercise that's good to do is take an exercise band and then hook it up to a striking post. What you'll do is you'll take the band, stretch it down towards you, then relax and let it pull your hand to the post. This will help develop your speed and will accelerate your movement. Pull it down, then relax the antagonistic muscles, fire off the protagonistic muscles, and let it whip your hand towards the post. Projection is a committed force directed in a particular line to accomplish a desired intention. Several mind-body functions and energies must come together simultaneously to produce maximum power or shock force. First, we have the mind or mental power that is used to project the whole idea. Then, we have the nervous system firing off to create the musculoskeletal action, as well as acting as the sensitizer that feels the bodily fluids moving. You want to learn to nerve launch, which is to fire off the nerves in your hands to initiate the movement. You don't want to cock the hand back with the muscle before you throw the punch, or it telegraphs your punch. So we work on nerve launching. The nerve launch starts down here with firing off of the nerves and starts the motion. The breath is also coordinated to increase power. Finally, the blood and bodily fluids are manipulated to create energy and add force. This is called concentrating the heavy. When all these things occur in perfect harmony, maximum force is thrown from the body. Some points to consider in practicing to develop maximum power or shock force are: 1. The development and concentration of proper body mechanics through constant practice, proper guidance, and refinement of skills. One of the things you have to be aware of is the placement of your tantin, that center of gravity here. You want to make sure that your tantin is placed in front of your back leg. If your tantin is over your back leg, when you push from the ground, you're going to go up. We want to have forward pressure behind our strikes. So by placing the tantin, that center of gravity, in front of the back leg, when I push from the back leg, I will move forward with momentum towards the opponent. Another thing you want to do is, once you have that tantin braced in front of you, you want to learn to use the ground as a lever and project the energy up through your leg, through your body, and out your arm, so that you have a direct connection between pushing from the ground and striking out with your hand. For instance, if your car breaks down on the road, if you have to push it off to the side, what do? You get behind it, you brace your legs, you push against the car, and then you push up from the ground to move that 2,000-pound vehicle. If I can mimic that same energy into a strike, I will strike with much more power. 2. The use of apparatus training to condition the tools. But remember, all apparatus must give a little. As a longtime Wing Chun practitioner, obviously the wooden dummy is one of my favorite apparatuses to practice my shock force on. Remember, all apparatus should have some give to it. You notice I have a lot of spring in my wooden dummy. There's different ways that you can strike the dummy or any object. One would be a smacking kind of energy, where you hear the impact on the surface, but you see no projection going out of the hand. The other way would be to push, where you get a lot of projection and push and follow through, but you don't hear the impact because there's no acceleration. So what we try to do is we try to hit with both the acceleration and the smack on impact, as well as the push and the follow through on it. So the strike should feel like electricity, like a shock when it hits the opponent. It should be more like this. You should hear the impact, you should see the projection, and then there should be follow through. I don't want to lean on the dummy and be off balance and overcommit it. So the strike should have this. It hits, it pushes, it cycles back off. You can use different bags with different materials in them, such as beans or rice or ball bearings or sand, like in this one, and practice to condition your hands, doing what we call iron palm training. When you strike the bag, make sure again that you have a circular force to it. You don't want to just come down and die on it. So I'll have a circular force to my strikes. This will help condition your hands, and you can hang these bags up and strike them and use them a lot of different ways. 3. Your energy must always go somewhere. It must never die. It must cycle back and always remain loaded. We want to make sure that when we strike, there's a roundness to the strike, a cycling back. The energy doesn't die. We don't want to punch and just pause or stop the motion out there. Our strike should go somewhere after it hits. It can go up, it can go this way, it can go this way, it can even go down, but it should go somewhere after the strike and not just die when it hits. 4. Don't overcommit or project off balance. Always stay centered and be ready to change. Be able to do anything from anywhere. You want to stay centered when you strike. You don't want to overcommit and throw yourself off balance. So as I throw my strikes, I stay within my center of balance. If I overcommit too much, then when I strike, if the opponent moves or evades me, I may fall over. 5. Don't telegraph your blows. Always initiate from a natural position. If your hand must go somewhere else before it goes to the target, you've completely missed the point. You want to be non-telegraphic too. When you strike, you don't want to have your hand cock back or your energy rise, your eyes open wide before you throw a punch. wherever your hand is, the punch should come right from where the hand is and go directly to the target. This is being non-telegraphic versus being telegraphic in a strike. 6. Finally, coordination of hitting. This is the coming together of the whole body, or what is called unitary energy. A unitary strike will push from the ground, there'll be a turn of the waist, your whole body will be involved in the movement of the strike. Versus a segmented strike where just your arm power is what's striking. You want your whole body to be behind the strike, and that helps you to be unitary and hit with more power. Things that can be added immediately to add power to a technique are push from the ground, shift the weight into the hit, take a step to add momentum, then time the hit. This is crucial in connecting with maximum power. Timing is probably the single most important factor in a successful stop hit. 3 important points to produce the maximum effect in your hit are: 1. Hit with maximum power in your projection within the proper mode or body state. To do this, you must root and be unitary, remaining relaxed and using the ground as a lever for energy. This allows your maximum body weight to throw your heavy. 2. Hit the opponent at a weak angle. 3. Hit the opponent on a vital point. If all these things can be accomplished simultaneously, you will hit with tremendous shock force. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about breaking. Now, I know boards don't hit back, but there is a value in practicing breaking boards and bricks. It can be a good gauge of your projection energy and the ability to penetrate through objects. But there are different ways to practice breaking. Now, obviously, if somebody braces the board like this for you to break, or you place it between 2 cinder blocks and break it, it's much easier to break. But that doesn't really mimic an actual live moving opponent. The value of possibly breaking boards and bricks against a stand could mimic maybe striking downward on an opponent that is pinned to the ground. But a real opponent is moving and slipping and turning. So in order to hit with shock force and to land a telling blow, the best way, I think, to practice breaking a board is to dangle the board. Have your partner hold the board up just by a couple fingers, or you can hang it from something and then practice hitting it. If you don't have enough speed and penetration and power to hit the board with shock force and explode through the board will simply get knocked away from you. So let me show you how we break a dangling board. Hopefully you learned something here today that you can incorporate into your own training to help develop and increase your speed and power and learn to hit with shock force. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my other videos on YouTube and visit me at sifumills.com.